about yourself and your business. Now, this course is going to challenge you to up-level many aspects of your life, including getting really honest with yourself about why you do the work you do, gaining clarity on your message, how you communicate with your community, your time management and building relationship skills. It's also going to challenge you to see this industry differently and to think and feel differently in how you approach your work. So it is not always going to be an easy ride, but I know that you can do this. I promise. If you commit to do this work, focus down and take consistent action, this program will be wildly transformational for your business and your life. Now, as we get started, I want to share a few important items that will really help you get the most out of this journey. First, it's all about retraining your brain. As you dive into the training, I want you to be aware of 2 toxic thoughts that tend to creep up in a lot of us when we are learning and growing at such a transformative rate. But the kicker here is to be mindful of when these thoughts creep up and switch gears to a more productive way of thinking. Now, the first toxic thought to look out for is, I already know this. Anytime you hear yourself saying, I already know this, then you have got to catch that thought immediately and switch it to a curious thought of, what new can I learn from this? Because I promise, there is always something new to learn. You can learn a new approach, a new tactic, angle, or spin on how to think or do something that you may know a little bit differently. Or sometimes what we see is the thing that we think we know, we aren't actually taking action on. So knowing it conceptually doesn't help us one bit if we aren't executing or experiencing something productive in our lives. There are always new opportunities for growth as long as you allow yourself to learn something new. Now, the second toxic thought is, this is not going to work for me. Instead of saying, this isn't going to work for me, you have to stop, switch it, change it, and rearrange it to the question, how can this work for me? Throughout Pitch It Perfect, we are going to bring to light a lot of strategies and ideas that initially you may not think apply to your business, to your influence, to your blog, fill in the blank. But I will tell you often, the most powerful breakthroughs come from outside of your work. So ask
Bernie. That's our Shih Tzu.
Asking that question of how can this work for me will start training your brain to think more outside the box. You will start to see your approach differently and come up with new ideas that can transform your business. Now, item number 2 that we need to address is learning how to get comfortable with discomfort. A lot of times when we listen to our gut, it will tell us something is uncomfortable or too challenging and we need to fight, right? Or flight. Discomforts and challenges can lead to a lot of fear, resistance, anxiety, and frustration. So we, as a way to kind of protect ourselves from that fear, we will want to disengage. And this all stems from us being resistant to change because change can be scary, right? Well, let me tell you, this program will challenge you. It will challenge you to bring your A game to a whole new level of how you approach your business. You are going to learn new ways to think, develop new habits. You're going to learn to step into a whole new level of growth and success. And that, my friends, ain't easy. It can bring up a lot of self-doubt and a lot of other stuff. It can be flat out terrifying. So, of course, when we get uncomfortable, a lot of us automatically think that something bad is happening to us. We start to think that resistance is our gut telling us not to show up and not to do the work. So what do we end up doing? We stop being brave. We don't show up. We don't transform. We kind of go back to our old ways. It's kind of like the caterpillar who gives up right before she would have become a butterfly. So whenever you are creating positive change and growth in your life, it's not going to always be comfortable and it's not always going to be easy because we are literally transforming to a higher version of ourselves. So yes, change is scary and uncomfortable, but a change will do you good. And if you want to succeed in this business or in this life, you have got to lean into the discomfort and let the transformation happen. Also, I want to remind you that you get lifetime access to Pitch It Perfect. And if one thing is the same about our Pitch It Perfect students, it's that they all take the program at their own pace. So please do not beat yourself up for being behind. That does not exist here. You are going to complete this content in the perfect time for you. Pitch It Perfect is not going anywhere. It is laid out intentionally to help retrain your brain so that you can retain the information and add more to the lineup as you learn and grow. And what's great about this program is that you can move at your own pace. So if you want to knock it all out in one sitting, then you have the option to do that. Or if you're someone like me and you kind of like to take a little bit at a time, then you have that option as well. So as your own boss, I'm giving you both of those choices. What I would recommend, though, is that you don't make any massive changes like deleting your profile or emailing the biggest brand in the industry until you finish this course and can really understand fully how to take action. And I need to say one more thing before we wrap this up. Make the most of each section. Now, we have 6 sections called modules, and each one of them are packed with videos, pitch sheets, audio clips, transcriptions, and additional resources. Now, in addition to that, you also get this portal of additional resources to help you get the most out of your Pitch It Perfect experience. There will be work and your welcome resources and downloads right below this video. And if you have any questions, you know that we are here for you. Just email us at support@juliesolomon.net. As for myself and everyone on the Empower You Inc. team, we are so excited and honored that you are here. And thank you so much for trusting yourself and us on this amazing next step. We cannot wait to see what happens next.
So that's the intro video, and I think it's great that there was a Facebook group and now there's at least a circle which helps us all learn together. I'm going to be recording this. You can skip. I think it's just interesting to be a fly on the wall of somebody as they're going through and doing it. I personally learn and get a lot of ideas that way. So I hope that this inspires you on your journey and helps us connect in the circle together and really talk about what we're thinking about along the way. Like the first reaction that I have is, of course, whenever I hear things like this, my instinct is I hate motivational speakers. I am driven. I execute, I follow through. I'm that type A that I don't need motivation. So it's a little bit of a turn off for me, but I am aware that this is necessary and everybody's at a different stage. So I understand why she is making a welcome video like this. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that this is really valuable. It sets expectations. It makes things very clear. So that's something we always want to think about as she just welcomed us, how we might want to welcome others. So understanding her process as I go through her process, but understanding the process that she's using and teaching this to us, because these are all skills that we're going to be able to transfer as we try to help others on SkillVill. So step 1, the welcome message is important. It sets expectations. It also brings up kind of knows or that you could predict people will complete this. What are the barriers that, or excuses, or items that can get in the way of growing? Because of course, anytime you're trying something new, I think it's a great reminder in the welcome video to say, hey, look, reassure people that we're here for them, we're here for each other, that yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, that's a good thing. Getting people comfortable with being uncomfortable is really important so that we can all be honest and transparent. So I'm being really uncomfortable in the point of sharing kind of my personal feelings, be totally different from anybody else in the circle, and I hope they are. This is just me knowing myself and my gut reaction. So I'm being very unfiltered and sharing my gut reactions with you. Also, I'm loving to hear as I go through this journey your perspective on things. So feel free to record a reaction. Say, hey, why was this helpful to you? Why did you like this welcome? Did you have a feeling after seeing this video that you could share with us? We all have really different perspectives. Was there language that affected you positively or negatively? These are things I'm curious about because I want to create as inclusive and welcoming of an experience as possible, but also be responsible like she did in setting expectations and making sure that it's clear we're here. So let me know what your reactions were to this welcome. And I hope you found my reactions interesting. You don't have to have had the same reaction. In fact, I love it when people don't, but I want to really set the tone for how I'm going to go through and record each and every one of these with a little bit of my perspective afterwards and kind of how I'm feeling at this moment. So I hope my vulnerability helps you be honest on your journey and courageous to share as well information of different insights, different perspectives, things I'm not thinking about, things she's not thinking about. We all have something to learn from one another. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, which I will be doing as part of this welcome, which is navigating circle and quick tips, which will be next. See you in the next video, or skip around and check out whatever resonates with you.
Hello friends, I wanted to walk you through very quickly how to navigate circle in the easiest way for you to see the most success possible while diving into Picture Perfect. So the first thing that I want to show you is over here on your left hand side, you will see where you can find our various supports. So obviously this is the core curriculum in here. Then we have the pitch audit library and the FAQ portal and the coaching Q&A vault. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that since creating Pitch It Perfect, we have left Facebook and we have moved to Circle, which is what you are looking at right now. So there may be times in the curriculum when you are listening to something that I'm saying or you're watching a video where I may reference Facebook. Since we are no longer in Facebook, I want you to forget that you ever heard that. And instead, when you hear me talk about Facebook or referencing Facebook or the community, where I want you to then reference is this wins section right here. So this is where you will come in to share any questions you have, any thoughts, any aha moments, any challenges that you're facing, and of course, any wins that you start to see. This is our new community portal. This is where we share all the good, the bad, and the ugly that happens on your journey. And so that is where you can find what you need there. So there is no Facebook group. So I don't want you to feel like that you're missing something or that you're lost. You are not lost, but that is where that is now.
Okay, so this is really helpful. I think she guides us through her portal. I love that she's moved away from Facebook or using the Facebook to have people log into a more community-centered software. Of course, I have chosen to create a community software that I feel is more inclusive and that's safer for how we use our data. And for me, it was very, very important that we were able to holistically support all of our creators, not just give them a space where they can house all their things. That's kind of, if you rent an apartment and you decorate, you're still not owning the building. You're still decorating someone else's building. And so for us on SkillVill, we really wanted to own this circle. I can see my participants, the data, the insights. I know how the information is being used and the fact that it's going to help each individual on their path when it comes to recommendations and some of the advanced opportunities that are going to present themselves. So this is totally up to each creator. Just know that as I am going through this system, I'm thinking about, okay, she chose this. I'm going to be doing it on SkillVill. You can choose whatever platform you want. But of course, what I am going to be demonstrating is going through her process. And then I'm going to be sharing what worked and what didn't work for me on SkillVill. So you will be engaging with this content on SkillVill. And I look forward to the next video. What's interesting about this video, I think it's great to show people around. It's like someone knocks on their door, you say welcome, and then you let them in your home, and then you don't just let them roam around the house. You give a quick tour. So I really like her process. It's very natural and human of someone coming over the first time. Say hi when they knock on the door, give them a quick tour so they know where it is that they are and what they have access to, because of course creating a virtual space for them. So you're inviting people into your circle and into your space. So this, I think, is a really great winning combination for a new user, empathy flow of what it's like when somebody is working with with you as a skill influencer inside your circle on SkillVill. So those are things I really like. Of course, I just have selected SkillVill and for other reasons that aligned with our values and data and where we see social networks going in the future, that I want to be able to scale my impact and build my micro influencer sponsorships, which is not something that is possible or available through the other software that she has selected. So I will see you in the next video, and those are my thoughts for now. Perfect curriculum checklist. So it looks like there's no video here, but great instruction, super clear and simple. And she showed us in the previous video how to find these documents. So I am going to just take a look at it. This is the document. Looks like it downloads to the checklist. And then I can choose to see it here as a PDF. The secrets, the checklists, the guidelines, the best practices, and then basically the outline of all the modules. So this is really a summary, it seems like, of the curriculum itself. So that's great. I think it's always helpful to provide an overview of what people could expect that we're about to start. So I really see the value of each of these short little areas and sections that she's done even before we've started learning her process. I think it's more of making people feel at home and comfortable and knowing what's coming up. But it definitely is something that to me personally, I feel like I already saw because I've seen this. So whenever I'm creating content, I want to make sure I'm not too redundant. I hate it when people kind of talk to the lowest common denominator, meaning they dumb it down more. People are smart. They can figure stuff out. So for me, I always want to make sure that the content is clear, but also not feeling like you're talking to a child or, oh, you already said this. So personally for me, I want to watch that in my own content creation. Can I make it clear the first time? Because I don't want to necessarily have to continually repeat things myself. Because when I go through things quickly, I like to just get the information fast, absorb it, and move on. Because everything's recorded, to me, you could always go back, you could revisit things. So I don't want to waste people's time this way. Let me know your opinions on this. There's lots of reasons why I see this could be valuable. Maybe that repetitive nature is super important to building a new habit and making sure people learn differently, and they need that reminder. So I'd love your opinions. Is the reminder helpful? Should it be made maybe optional? Or is it something that, hey, it's there, people are smart. If they need it, they'll go and find it, or they know where to get it. You don't need to put an extra step in here. Love to have your thoughts on this. All perspectives are valid. I just love to explore the reasoning behind it, the thoughts. Does this work? Is this important? Do you need it in addition to the outline of the lessons, which I can click on myself? So on to the next one. That is all my thoughts right now at this point, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter with you. Okay, so lesson 4, a 30-day roadmap. This is also a nice description. So talking about pitching the first time, lots of different parts. Here's the framework to make it easy. So I'm again getting now not just a curriculum checklist, but I'm seeing day by day what I'm going to be doing. So I like that. I'm going to open this up here. And again, it's a PDF, which is a little frustrating because I have to open up the document. I prefer to have the resource right there inside the portal or the circle, which we do. We have resources right inside so that you don't have to download things because I have a lot of documents on my desktop. And so that's something that I just don't want more documents and clutter. If while I'm in the mindset of creating this and working on this, I like to keep my things right there. So it's kind of the same idea, but what I find is that if I have a PDF, I have to download a couple things. One, I just get a folder filled with PDFs and I don't look at them. Or I download and I have multiple copies, and that just gets cluttery. So for me, one of the things for New Year was to keep everything very zen and clear and relaxed. So I'm a little adverse to PDFs myself. I know they're great because that's what people are used to. But I want to try to create my content in a way where it's just bite-sized, what you need at that moment, and you can see it right there wherever you're working on it versus having to do a download. Anytime I download something on my desktop, it kind of takes me mentally out of what I'm working on, because then I see my other PDF from work, I see another PDF from maybe some volunteering I'm doing. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the PDFs. Are you leaning towards, okay, it ends up being a distraction on my desktop in the clutter and I want to go click on other things and then I'm not focused? For me, I like to stay focused. I like the blinders on. So I'm going to be putting all the resources in the circle here in the circle. So anytime I mention a resource, I'm going to want to create a visual or graphic. Also, I think it's just really helpful to be able to see it right at the moment you need it. So I like the fact that she put it right there. It's specific to what we're working on right now. I just am getting away from PDFs myself. I think it's a technology we're getting away from, and I like to engage with things and have my hands on it more. You can see I'm talking with my hands. So PDFs to me, don't keep me engaged. They seem passive. They seem like, oh, it's a corporate flyer, or it seems like, oh, it's a lecture and here's a professor and I'm sitting here passively. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well, or what other formats could you use to make it more engaging? I think step number one is I don't want to send people away to learn things. I want to be able to have, if I have a resource to share, it's going to be right there. But positive things I love. I love that she's welcoming. I loved that she is showing us what's ahead. So I know where we're going and where I am in the process. So content is great. The delivery of the content within this platform, I think is standard, but I think we could do better. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas on how we could do better. Hi, okay, we are on lesson 5 now, and I am looking at the Pitch It Perfect Completion secrets. So this is really interesting. She's done a separate document to, looks like, motivate us on completing the program. So just to kind of outline her entry-level experience, which I really like, is the welcome, who we are, what we're doing, then how to use the space that we are welcoming you in. So you knock on the door, you welcome the person, they come into your virtual space. For us, it would be a circle on SkillVill, and then you show them around. Once you show them around, it's like, okay, here's all the things we're going to be doing. Here is expectations. So if you were having a dinner party, you would say, hey, dinner's at 6, enjoy yourself to appetizers, and then afterwards we'll be following in, the next room and having dessert. So you would kind of do the same thing. If you think of it as somebody came over and you're having a dinner party, you let them know what's happening next. So I like this hostess welcome experience relating to how she is getting us to fall into the content itself, and the 30-day roadmap. So what to expect, because it is a long process. So she wants to give an overview. Love that. That's like the itinerary. And then this completion secrets. I think it's like, hey, don't sneak out the back and leave the party. Did I overwhelm you? Did I scare you? So I really like that empathy flow that she is also trying to encourage us along the way. I wish it was almost just a video for my own watching. I like, if you want to be encouraging, be authentic, be transparent. If I have to read too many PDFs, again, if you've watched my previous videos, PDFs just really, they add to my clutter. They add to my feeling of stress and anxiety. So it's great if there's tips on how to do this. I just wish maybe the tips were delivered throughout the experience instead of just saying, hey, here's all the tips you should do or know. So as I open up the completion secrets and I download them to my desktop and then I open it, again, I have a chance of getting distracted away from what it is I'm about to start. So for me, I'm feeling like there might be a better way that we could drop these tips in throughout the learning, because I feel like I'm just taking a long time to get into the content. But I'm a person who likes to get right in. I don't like a lot of the over motivation. So these are all great things to really motivate you and stay focused. So love to hear your opinion on this and see if this is something that, you know, you would like to have or you would do for your community as this extra step. Would you put in some completion secrets? Like, hey, here's some reasons why you need to finish, or let's use some of her kind of similar topics. Schedule it on your calendar. Love that tip. That's action oriented. Get engaged with our emails. To me, I don't want to say things that are common sense, because if you paid for something, I hope you would be engaging with it. But I totally, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people need that reminder. And maybe it doesn't work for you. So please share. This is just me being completely transparent. Complete every single pitch sheet. Yeah, completing the process is important. I think it's important, but again, I just am from the school of thought that I don't need a teacher to push me through to help myself. I already am a leader. I'm already a type A person. I'm motivated. I just want to do it. So I don't want to be talked down to or dummied up. Not that she's doing it. She's doing it in a really fun, friendly way. And I really like her verbiage of it. But again, I see the value of adding in the tips, figuring out the way you learn best. So I'm following her example in the way that I learn best. I just know myself and the way I like. So I would want to create content and deliver it on SkillVill in a way that's less course-like. And I guess maybe that's the allergy. This is a course approach. And I'm just thinking through what parts of the course I like and what parts I might want to do differently. So this is just sharing my thoughts. Again, love your thoughts on it. But by now, this is video 5. I almost wished that I skipped ahead and just delve right in. But I'm going to keep going and make sure that I can record, because I know we're coming up to some really exciting process, the goods behind what she really offers. But I see the value of what she's doing, and I understand that this is kind of like the limitations of some of the platform that she's chosen. So she's trying to help us get through it and get into the system. So hopefully we can come up with some exciting ways to get people into the system and more engaged, that maybe can go beyond or will go beyond PDFs. Look forward to sharing exactly how I do this as we go along. And let's get to that next video. I'm ready.